Hey y'all. So this is a story time of how my husband introduced me to his ex and said that it was his sister. All right? This is going to be a fun story. So let's get into it. So mind you, look, I've been married for almost 20 years. So this happened a long time ago. All right. So one day my husband had picked me up from college, and he said that he was on his way to see this lady because she was in the hospital, and I was like, this was my man, I was like, okay, if you going somewhere, I'm going with you, like that scene in Gina and Martin. She was like, oh, you going to see your son? Oh, it's gonna be us, remember that? So when we got to the hospital or whatever, I had asked him, I said, okay, because at the time I was like in my 20s, and I was like, it's not, I don't believe that men and women can be friends without benefits, if you will. Okay. So I had asked him, I said, so did you and this girl used to mess around? He was like, no. He flat out told me no. Okay. And he said, she was, me and her like brother and sister. And so at the time, I was very naive because, I was young. So I still didn't fully believe him. So I went in there, and she was in there with her parents, and she happened to have a hospital gown on and everything. And he actually hugged her in front of me. And that was so cringe. But I mean, I was like, maybe he's a nice guy. I was like, I kind of like fell for it a little bit because I was like, oh, he's visiting his friend because she, was, a little ill or whatever. And so that was that. So my women's intuition hadn't been, fully developed at the time. So I asked him again, and he was like, no. Oh, he was like, no, I never messed with her or whatever. So months went by, and finally, before we got married, he admitted it. But in between that time, we were supposed to be, having a wedding. And did you know, or do you know, that this dude was going to have this girl plan my wedding with me? We were so young and dumb, but I'm going to tell you, thank God he had a conscience, because he did tell me before we got married. Because if I found out afterwards, I don't know, this story time would be different. Ladies, ask questions and pray so your partner can tell you the truth.